We start the show off with a bang. Pat Jennings, welcome to the red tier. Hey, appreciate it, man. All right. Welcome on in, everybody. This is a live stream. Just to remind you, I will be interacting with chat throughout this video. And if you haven't been here before, welcome on in. I like to basically go over all the things I find important when discussing or when building lineups for, well, I should say DraftKings lineups, but you can also use FanDuel. Use this information for FanDuel lineups. But basically, I like to go over the course and tournament information, go over pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I'm not going to review the Open. I will touch up on it briefly, but typically what I like to do with the Open is talk about how to, or using the SweetSpot process, seeing how well it did during the previous week's event so you can use it for this week's event. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this video pretty light. For those that are YouTube members, I will probably do a follow-up video after this for just members only. And the reason being is tomorrow, Wednesday, usually I do a members only video there. I will be out of town. I won't be able to do it. This is my birthday weekend. I'm heading up north. There's a hometown festival that's supposed to be really big. It's a big weekend for me. So I will not be available Wednesday evening to do a members only video. So I'll do it right after this one. And it's probably just going to be quick. I'll go over all the extra things that, you know, I didn't do during this video. So if you want to check out that video, you do have to be a white tier and above member. So Pat, you being a red tier member, I hate to you know, rain on your parade, but you won't be able to see that video because that for red tier it doesn't apply. However, you still get all the perks of being on the red tier. You get to use all of the emojis. In fact, everybody else that's a member, why don't you just spam the emojis in the chat? Show Pat what you can use. But yeah, that's what we can look forward to. I will be doing a giveaway here shortly. I am just trying to get everything situated because even last weekend, it was a long weekend for me with a golf tournament Saturday, Sunday, and then getting home late and not updating all this stuff. You guys were probably checking out the cheat sheet, which that is exactly what I'm trying to do right now, is pull up the cheat sheet for you guys to see. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and show. All right, Pat. Pat goes to the white tier. There we go. You know what, Pat? I'm gonna throw this out there for you. That's awesome, dude. Thank you. Pat Jennings, white tier, new white tier member. There we go. That's what I like to see. I have the website up, SweetSpotDFS.com. And if you want to check out the cheat sheet, click on the cheat sheet. If you also want to request for the optimizer looks like this, and I will be building lineups later today or later in this video by using this optimizer. It uses everything that I cover in the SweetSpot process. So if you want access to this, go to SweetSpotDFS.com. There's a link in the description down below. Go down here and go to optimizer, and this page will show up and a pop-up will happen. You put your email here, requests now, I will send you the optimizer. Now, I have to personally send it to you. I don't have an automated service set up to do this, so it might take a little bit of time, but I swear to God, I will be as quick as possible getting this to you. Remember, I do have to sleep, so if it's late, I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone. So just be wary of that, but I will send it to you as quick as I see your email. Normally I stay up till about midnight on Tuesday nights. So you got that all the way up until then. And then 8 o'clock rolls around, I can send it to you in the morning. Anyways, so that was the optimizer. This is the cheat sheet, has the 3M open. built into it. But if you scroll down and you click here and check out this cheat sheet, this is the spreadsheet I will be using throughout this video. If you want to follow along, again, go to the website, click on the cheat sheet, come here, and you can follow along with me. It has the dream sheet as well as the bucket system for the 3M Open. So all of those things are available to you. Go check them out. I think what I'm going to do from here is just let's run the giveaway. And I'm going to show you what this looks like, by the way. So I do a weekly, I do a monthly giveaway. Monthly giveaways happen on the first Tuesday of every new month. So we have this week, and I think we have next week, the Wyndham Championship before we do the monthly giveaway, which is a membership at SweetSpotDFS.com, a monthly membership at SweetSpotDFS.com. Also, if we can get to the goal that you see all the way over to the left, 900 subscribers is the goal that I want this channel to reach. We are currently at 863. It's a bit of a stretch to get to 900, but if we can, I will add a t-shirt to the subscriber goal. And I have 4 different types of t-shirts that if you would like one, I can provide for you. Also, this kind of goes into the SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway, which I'm giving $1,000 away of giveaways once this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers. And if you want in on this giveaway, go sign up, create an account at SweetSpotDFS.com. Again, there's a link in the description, free of charge. You do not have to put a credit card on file unless you want to pay for it, because there are things behind the paywall that I will be going over in this video. And I'll let you know what are behind the paywall. The cheat sheet and the optimizer that I just showed you, they are not behind the paywall. So you can do that for free. I don't even think you need an account to go check out those 2 tools. But if you want in on the giveaway, sign up, because I use the email addresses from the giveaway or from the user sign up to put into this giveaway. So that's the only way to get or to be a part of this giveaway. So if you haven't, do so. But that's it. That's all that I have when it comes to kind of the housekeeping items. Let's do the weekly subscriber giveaway. There were 16 total entries. And if you want to be entered into this giveaway, because obviously there'll be a weekly giveaway for next week, be present during these live streams. I will provide a roll call. I'll just ask you to say something in the chat, write something in the chat. Once you do that, you'll get an entry. And then also after this video goes live and it's on replay on YouTube, comment down in the comment section. You know, I get a lot of participants right here when it comes to the roll call, but not so much when it comes to the comments. So if you do that, you're just going to increase your chances to win the weekly subscriber giveaway. Now, I know it's $5, but $5 goes a long way. $5 you could use to become a white tier member on YouTube. $5 can be used for a weekly subscription to SweetSpotDFS.com, or $5 you can just go ahead and throw into your DraftKings account and play the Drive the Green contest and try to win $50,000. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with $5. So if you want more entries, participate on the channel. Simple as that. So here we go. Let's check out who our winner is. Drum roll, please. Tim Tulos. Tim, let me know how to send you the money. I do PayPal, Venmo, Google Pay. If you don't have any of those, we can figure out another method. But those are the 3 that I have. And congratulations to Tim Tulos. All right. Let's go ahead and get right into this. You know what? I'm gonna actually, I'll talk to the chat here for a little while, because I do need to pull up some of these tools that I haven't I don't have ready yet. All right, Wheels Up, he commented first and he said, Q&A for Comfort Food, Golf DFS. How do we give hardcore fans an edge in lineup building, especially with a smaller prize pool and less casual audience? What's your initial strategy this week? Hardcore fans an edge? I think just being available for, not available, I would say research. Research always gives you an edge. And if casual fans aren't, you know, researching anything, you obviously will have an edge that way. And a smaller prize pool, I think, just offers, like, when it's a smaller prize pool, when it's a smaller just player pool in these contests, being sharp and doing your research is going to provide you the most advantage. That's just my personal opinion. Joanne, good evening. Nice to see you. AJ Love, nice to see you as well. Said, hello, had my best week since my big 50K win in 2022. Won $75. Still poor. Hey, man, we got to start somewhere. I'm on like a 4-week losing skid, so it happens. It happens. Lombardi Lee, what's going on? Nice to see you. Tara Barbas, hello. It's been a while. Haven't seen you in here for quite some time. And Brian John, what's going on, man? Nice to see you as well. Late to the party? You're not that late. I just started like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. What? Yeah, 10 minutes ago. Technically 11, but you know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the first piece of information, which is the course and tournament information. All right. You can follow along by going to SweetSpotDFS.com. This is behind a paywall. It is called Golf Course Stats, and this kind of gives you a little bit of a breakdown as to the golf course, the type of grass that's behind it, the yardage. I even have a mapped out version of it to see what type of shot shapes matter at this golf course. All of this you can use for your own personal research. So bent grass as well as shot shapes can be found on the cheat sheet. And again, if you click on the cheat sheet, go to the cheat sheet. I have shot shapes right here, not for all golfers, unfortunately. And then the grass stat that I am using this week is bent grass stats. So you can go ahead, check out the cheat sheet, use those to your advantage to pick out the golfers you think are best to put in your lineups. Now, I will say the sweet spot rank that you have all the way over to the left, that takes into account the bent grass stats. So golfers that are good on bent grass will get a bit of a boost, and that's how the model shakes out. So just throwing that out there. If you didn't already know, now you do. But yeah, we have bent grass, tees, fairways, greens. You do have a little bit of Kentucky blue and fescue in the rough. Another, I mean, it's an annual grass just like POA is, and a lot of times Kentucky blue gets mixed up with POA. Doesn't really matter. Rough isn't something that I really use when I'm trying to figure out which golfers to put in my lineups. The big thing here, land of 10,000 lakes, there are 15 water holes. So 15 holes have water present around it in play. So the easy way of saying this is like, don't play erratic golfers, those that are really inaccurate off the tee, or I would just say erratic off the tee, because the tee shots are going to be the most important aspect when it comes to accuracy. The golfers who are going to hit the water on approach shots are your aggressive golfers. Very rarely are you going to find a golfer that's going to be wayward, like completely wayward, and hit the water. It is possible, obviously, but these guys are pretty good at this game, and they're not going to be that far off. So I'm not too concerned about like greens and regulation information, because I think those golfers that are bad with irons are probably going to steer away from water. And when it comes to DraftKings scoring, you want aggressive golfers. So I personally wouldn't say just target golfers that are good with green and reg or accuracy with irons, like just good approach players. I'm more concerned and interested in golfers that are straight off the tee, or at least smart off the tee. And I think you're going to find that in the off the tee stats. I would combine off the tee stats with driving accuracy, and you certainly can do that using the round by round stats on the website. So if I go into this, and you know, what you'll want to do is just look up specific golfers. Actually, I'm sorry, go to the strokes gain stats tool. And for this, you're going to have this week's field located on this box up here. So if you want to click on any of these golfers, it will filter out down here. And basically what I would be looking at would be the off the tee stat that you see in this column, and I would combine it with the driving accuracy stat. Now, if you don't know what how off the tee stats are calculated, I'll put it this way. A 90-yard shot in the rough is the equivalent of a 150-yard shot in the fairway, like approach-wise. So if a golfer's hitting a driver and they put it to 150 yards away in the fairway, and say that's golfer A, let's say golfer B hits it to 90 yards away in the rough. So another way to say that is golfer A hits it 250 yards down the middle of the fairway. He has 150 yards into the green. Golfer B hits it 310 yards, but finds the left side of the rough, and he's 90 yards away. That is the equal point. Both of them have the same expected amount of strokes to put the ball in the hole from that point. So that's like, it's crazy, right? 60-yard difference, a 90-yard shot in the rough is the same expectation to get the ball in the hole than a 150-yard shot from the fairway. Finding fairways are very important when it comes to the off the tee. Well, when it comes to the off the tee stat, if you want to gain more off the tee, find the fairway more. And that's why if you look at some of these off the tee stats, like Sam Burns right here, he gained 3.21 off the tee, 73% driving accuracy. You know, 285 yards off the tee isn't great, but look here, 302. He drove at 302, but it was 50% accurate. He didn't gain as many strokes off the tee as he did from the week before. And I know some people out there are going to be like, well, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Dang it. They adjust the strokes gain stats. They adjust it based off the event. Yes, they do. These are adjusted. They're already adjusted based off of how easy the scoring was. And the adjustments don't just go driver by driver. It goes by score. It goes by how the field did on any given day at that golf course, just the end score. And then everything gets adjusted equally from there on out. And I'll show that in another video. But if you really are concerned about off the tee, combine it with driving accuracy. And then you're going to find the really good golfers hit the ball far and hit the ball straight. If we look right here, so this is one of those that the RBC Canadian Open was a very easy scoring golf course. So the off the tee stat got adjusted pretty hard because Sam Burns drove at 300 yards and was 73% accurate, but only gained 2.2 strokes. That's pretty insane, right? Whereas at the Travelers Championship, the scoring wasn't as easy. And 73% accuracy with a 285-yard drive gave him 3 strokes on off the tee. Now, unfortunately, with the site right now, I don't have it so you can just load the field and just see who's the best off the tee with driving accuracy. You're going to have to kind of go individually throughout these golfers and try to figure out from there. Now, you can sort to see who's the best off the tee. Cameron Champ, no brainer. Obviously, we know he hits the ball pretty far. He's also won the 3M Open before, so keep that in mind. But what you could do is, again, click on each of these golfers and just see what their accuracy is. You know, if they are 55% and greater, I would say that's a pretty good play. If they lack, you know, accuracy and are like, you know, I'd say less than 60% accurate. That's where you can kind of go, I don't know if I want to play that golfer. But I do think off the tee is going to be very important. And I think you should combine it with driving accuracy. And you could just use the overall off the tee stat. That's fine. By the way, just a little tip when you're using the website. Usually on the furthest left side of the tables that I use, you can actually click on this and sort by how it was supposed to be sorted, which I guess I need to remove an empty spot, or we can just sort by salary. That's fine. There we go. That's fine. I need to remove that empty. I don't know why it's there. Anyways, so that's kind of how my whole thought process with this tournament. Again, you can go use the golf course stats. You can see what's mapped out, the shot shapes that I think are important. Again, if you read the little disclaimer here, they're not necessary. Shot shapes aren't necessary, but they do provide the best scoring opportunities for each hole. And it looks like it's pretty even. Draws and fades. This is a golf course that's great for golfers who work the ball both directions or just like to work the ball, that are very creative. So just throwing that out there. And really, when it comes to the golf course, I don't have anything else to say. The tournament is going to have 156 golfers in it, and it's going to be top 65 in ties for your cut. One thing we can do, though, is take a look at what the winning score has been every single year. And you can use the website for this, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the spreadsheet because it's kind of cleaner, in my opinion. You have minus 17 in 2024, minus 24 in 2023. I went to that one. Then it was minus 17, minus 15, minus 19, and minus 21, the inception. So this tournament is relatively new. 2019 was the debut of the tournament for the PGA Tour. This used to be a Champions Tour event. It used to be called the 3M Championship. Now it's a 3M Open for the PGA Tour. But this golf course has been used for forever. Just we don't have any seniors to even look at that data. Anyways, minus 24 is the only odd one. But if you look at second place, 17 under. So Lee Hodges had himself a week. I was just watching a little bit of this round 4 performance, and he like eagled one of the first couple holes like really early. Guy went nuclear. So we can anticipate like a winning score around minus 17, minus 18, probably. I don't know what the weather forecast is off the top of my head. I live in the Twin Cities, so we were expecting rain for most of the week. Here, hold on. I'll pull up my local weather app. Let's see. It looks good. Looks like Sunday might get some thunderstorms, but that looks later in the day, if not towards the night. So scoring conditions, I think, are going to be pretty optimal. So maybe we can see something in the 20s again, just like Lee Hodges. We shall see. Actually, one other thing to look at, what is the strength of field? 286. And we see 223 last year. In 2023, we had 256. And the year before that was 116. So we do have a bit of a stronger field than typical years, which might mean that scoring will be a little easier. And I shouldn't say easier because it's stronger, but better golfers are going to provide better scores. So yeah, that's all that I have when it comes to the course and tournament information. I'll catch up with chat, and then we'll go into pass optimal and GBP winning lineups. All right, so Wheels Up says get 25 likes to keep watching. 25 likes, I'll give out 5 free YouTube memberships. That's for certain. Thank you for reminding me. I always forget that. And good evening to you. Hello, thank you for singing my praises. Of course, man. My list says P. Peterson, most accurate of the tee. Never heard of him. Paul Peterson was in the running to win an event. I think it was the Barbasol. I think he was leading that event for a while, right? Paul Peterson. All right, let's go ahead. And you can also search in here for specific golfers. So Paul Peterson. He's your most accurate golfer off the tee? Huh? I suppose. I mean, 50% looks like that's his lowest. Yeah, you are right. Wow. The off the tee stats aren't that great, though. Minus 0.359. Short ball hitter. And he wasn't in the same events as Sam Burns. Again, these stats get adjusted based off of how easy the scoring is. So, you know, RBC Canadian Open, where Sam gained 2 strokes on the field and had a 73% accuracy, driving accuracy. He hit the ball 300 plus yards. And actually, I think he had, what, 1? It was like +1 something off the tee. So those all play into effect. So I probably, I mean, probably stay away from Paul Peterson. But yeah, there it is. Barbasol. He was second. He almost won it. He was leading it for a while. Okay. Cool. All right, let's move on to pass optimal GPP winning lineups. All right, let's start with historic salary builds. Again, this is on SweetSpotDFS.com on behind a paywall. If you want to take a look at this, basically what this tool allows us to do is kind of take similar, we can look at similar events by either just individually selecting the tournaments here, or what we can do is kind of take the information that we know, you know, 10,500 Sam Burns is the most expensive golfer, and we do not have a 5K range, so we can go ahead and put all that, we can at least put those filters into the more filters thing. I want 49.6, and you know what? Since this is going to be an easier field, how about 49.4? 49.4 to 50,000. Max salary is going to be, I'm going to put 11,000 in there, and that's like the most expensive. And then I'm going to put 10,000 for max salary. And basically, what this filter is doing right here is, what is the most expensive? Actually, you know what? Let's move this to 9,500. No. Let's just keep it at 10. And then min salary, let's move this back. Let's move this up to 6. So the floor is 6,000. The ceiling is 11,000. For that max salary, I want to see all lineups that have had at least one $10,000 golfer up to $11,000 golfer, and just look at the most common salary builds. Now, it's not a perfect 1-for-1. It's not even a perfect 1-2, 1-3, whatever, but this gives us a general ballpark as to how to build some of these lineups and which salaries we should kind of focus on. Remember, salaries are a power ranking that DraftKings has, and it's based off of their odds. It's based off their odds to win an event. With other things too. They have their own algorithm. You know, they incorporate course history, recent form. We can kind of all see that with the models that we all build. Normally kind of follows, you know, salaries kind of follow, but they have their own way of doing it, and I don't know it perfectly. I don't even know it exactly. But either way, salaries are a power ranking, and obviously we need to get a parlay of 6 golfers to fit under the $50,000 salary cap to try to win a GPP. And you can go ahead and take a look at what type of lineups that I do record. I do record GPP winning lineups, I record optimal lineups, and I also record SweetSpot optimal lineups, which are lineups that use up $49,600 of the salary and are the best lineup that do that. Or let's say it a different way. It's the best lineup that uses $49,600 of the salary and above. There are exceptions, but there aren't many exceptions. If there just isn't a lineup at all close to spending that amount of salary, then I'll drop it down to find the next closest build that you can do. You'll see that if you research it, but I wouldn't be concerned about that. It happens very infrequently. So anyways, we have the SweetSpot Optimal here. I'm going to actually remove all of the filters, and we're just going to take a look at this. Not all the filters. We still have these filters in here. But looking at this, your most common lineup build, and if you've ever been to the channel before, it's the same thing all the time, 10-9-8, 7-7-6. Start with a 10K golfer, a 9K golfer, an 8K golfer, 2 7s, and a 6. That, I think, is the best way to go. If you want to see lineups that start with a 9K golfer, what I would end up doing is just moving this max salary, the minimum bar here, all the way down. And now you'll incorporate some of these 9K starting points. And so you can see the most common 9K lineups. But by far and away, the most common is the 10-9-8, 7-7-6, 17% of lineups recorded since 2017 start with that type of fashion. That's 17%. The next is a 10-9-8 and then 3 7Ks. That's 7%. Then it follows it up with a 10-9-8, 7-6-6. That's 5%. So if we just total this up, that's 30%. 30% of lineups start with a 10-9-8, 7 start. 10K, 9K, 8K, 7K, and then some combination of another 7 and a 6, or, you know, 2 6s, 2 7s, something like that. And then if you go down, it just kind of all stays within the same, you know, starting with the 10K golfer, just starting with the 10K golfer, there are 5. How would I go about showing you this? Can I do this? Oh, you know what? It shows it right here. 75% of lineups have a 10K golfer in them, in it, following the filters that I provided. I mean, just again, 75% have a 10K golfer in them. So it's really up to you. Do you want a 10K golfer or not? I think the 10K range this week is pretty good. If we just drill down on GPP winners, 70% of GPP winning lineups of similar events, similar tournaments, start with the 10K. SweetSpot Optimal, 80%. Again, it's the best lineup that uses $49,600 of the salary and above. 80%. In the optimal lineup, obviously, if you don't already know this, some of your optimal lineups can leave $4,000 on the table. Although with the filters that I put in, you're not going to see that. These are optimal lineups that use $49,400 and above. So disregard what I just said. But 72% of those types of lineups. So I like to play the number game. 70% of lineups having a 10K golfer in them tells me all I need to know. I kind of want to start my lineups with a 10K golfer. Now, I'll also use that to my advantage when it comes to building lineups. So if you just drill through all these different lineups, again, 70% of GPP winners start with the 10K, following the criteria that I put on here. 72% of optimal lineups follow that criteria, and 80% of SweetSpot optimals. So in my opinion, I'm probably, if I'm building lineups, let's just say I'm building 10 lineups, 7 of them are going to start with a 10K golfer, because I'm going to follow the same type of percentages. If you want to go 100% in on the 10K golfers, I think that's fine. Still, it favors you for having those many 10K golfers. But again, you know, the 10K golfers we have, Sam Burns, Mav McNeely, and Chris Goddard. I mean, I'm a sucker for Sam Burns already, but I think this is a good place for him. Like I kind of like Sam Burns getting a victory here at the 3M Open. And I don't mind Mav McNeely. Chris Goddard has a first place finish at the Genesis Scottish Open, which was 2 weeks ago. Last week he finishes 3rd, I think, right? Yeah, he finishes 3rd at the Open Championship. Both of those overseas. Could be a little tired. You never know. But I mean, I'm not concerned playing him. Oh, hey, I'll give myself a pat on the back, by the way. If you were with me during the members only video for the Open Championship, I had a pretty good segment on Wyndham Clark. Heard everybody off of him. Heard everybody saying, oh, do we think his game is mentally fit for the Open? Blah, blah, blah. And I told all of you guys, I'm going to play Wyndham Clark. I got no issue playing Wyndham Clark. He is good enough to win a major championship. Why not play him? He was like $6,400 or something like that. He ended up finishing 4th. So again, I'll give myself a pat on the back, because hearing all the garbage from like Rick Run Good. Sorry, bud. You're wrong. You're wrong about Wyndham Clark. It's wrong about a lot of things, but that was a bad take. But anyways, let's go on and look at the 9K range. So again, I'll probably go 70 to 80% of my lineup starting with a 10K golfer. But if you want to start with a 9K golfer, again, I think the 9K range is pretty good. Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler, Taylor Pendrith, Max Grazerman, Siwoo Kim, Tony Finau, and Sung J.M. I really like starting 10-9 because I mean, $10,500 is not that expensive, and you can build some good lineups going that way. But if you also want to do 9K, it's like, I do like Ricky Fowler this week. I also like Tony Finau. What did he do at the Open again? I can't remember. 56th place. That's okay. It's not a big deal, honestly. I have no idea what Tony Finau's been up to, you know, this whole summer. But I do know he's got pretty decent finishes, like top 20s. Let's go here and let me drill down on Tony. So he's got 56 at the Open, 66 at the Travelers. That's bad. 38th at the Open or the US Open. That's pretty good. 31st at the Memorial. That's okay. 19th at the PGA Championship. Like that's it's not a lot of events. PGA to Memorial to US Open. Then it's Travelers to the Open. I mean, those are big boy events. He isn't playing any of the you know, smaller events in between. PGA Championship, obviously a major. Memorial, signature event. US Open, major. Travelers, signature event, and then a major. He didn't play in any of the full field events that weren't signature events. So I don't mind Tony Finau this week either. And if you want to start with 2 9K golfers, this is the perfect time to do it. Again, I think, you know, 25-30% of my lineups are going to start with a 9K golfer, and the rest are going to start with a 10K golfer. And I'm just going to stick to that. I think that's absolutely fine. Okay. That's kind of just going over the salary builds. Just want to show you how to use the tool. You can use it however you want. Figure out what works best for you. There are filters under the more filters. Use them up. You can select whatever tournament you want to look at. If you just want to look at 3M Opens, I mean, I used to do this. I should be doing this. The most common salary build at the 3M Open is a 10-10, 3 7s, and a 6, followed by a 10-9-8, 7-7-6. There you go. Followed by a 10-8-8, 3 7s. Hell, 94% of the lineups that I've recorded since 2019 start with a 10K golfer. That includes optimal lineups. There are no other filters on this. This is wide open. The only filter is the 3M Open. 94% of either, well, let's go. All your GPP winning lineups start with a 10K golfer. All of your SweetSpot optimals start with a 10K golfer. The only lineups that did not were the optimal lineups. And when we take a look, oh, you got to leave a lot of money on the table, by the way, for these optimal lineups. There was only one lineup out of all of them. And you had to leave $5,000 on the table. So here's my piece of advice. This tournament is a good tournament to anchor your lineups around a 10K golfer. And just to further prove my point, I was looking at this earlier, this is my engine that drives all of the bucket system projections. I look at this by top 5s, or like top 5 finishers, top 10 finishers. Here are your top 10 finishers. Every year, again, 2019 is where it starts. Every year, there's been at least one golfer from the 10K range to finish inside the top 10. Now, you might be like, well, that's not good enough to win a GPP. Yes, it is. At the 3M Open, nobody gets close to scoring. Nobody gets close to the optimal lineup. In 2019, your GPP, actually, let's use the website. Why not? Why am I not using the website? So if I put in 3M Open, and in 2019, let's look at the GPP winning lineup. It's not going to give us points, is it? Okay. Do I have that on the spreadsheet? I do. This is the quarter arcade. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to use the spreadsheet for this year. 2019, your GPP winning lineup scored 684 points. The optimal scored 722, so that actually was closer than I originally thought. 2020, can I use the website for this? I cannot. I don't have points for this one either. Okay. That's fine. Some of these events I don't have points for. Your $3 birdie GPP scored 643.5. The optimal scored 708. So that's 70 points between the two lineups. In 2021, Here, let's try to use a website for this one. We have points. There we go. Your GPP winning lineup scored 604 points. The optimal scored 647. Okay. So actually, I might change my tune on this, because if it's that close, I was going to say there's a big point disparity between the GPP winning lineup and the optimal, because this is a volatile event. All the water, no one gets close to the optimal lineup, but it's been staying within about 50 points. This one is 70 from optimal to GPP. Going to 2024, that was 18 point or 14 points away. The GPP winning lineup was 14 points away from the optimal. It might have been the best lineup. Yeah, it's the same as a SweetSpot optimal. Wow. Okay, so hey, I guess you got to be more perfect than I thought when it comes to building this lineup. So probably even more important, you kind of start with your lineups with a 10K golfer. If you're building one lineup, the odds are in your favor to start it with a 10K golfer. Now, obviously, every year is different. I know this. I don't need, the smart Alex of the world to come out and be like, well, this event isn't the same as, any of those previous years. Yeah, no kidding. I understand. But I'm looking at the 10K range, and I think the 10K range is just fine. Now, one thing we can look at is how many of these 10K golfers were coming from the Open Championship. Sahith, back in 2024, so last year, he missed the cut and finished 6th. Sam Burns finished 12th, and he was 31st place. He did not play the Genesis Scottish Open, but Sahith did. Okay, going to 2023, Finau played the Open, missed the cut. Any other 10K golfers up there? No, and he finished 7th. Okay, 2022, we have Finau again, finished 28th at the Open, and we have Sung J M, who did make the cut but played really poorly and finished 81st. He also missed the cut at the Genesis Scottish Open. So if you're kind of looking at these like good finishes from 10K golfers overseas, maybe it's not all that worthwhile. Although in 2021, Louis finished 3rd at the Open, then came to the 3M and finished 2nd. Finau, okay, this was not going overseas. This was actually after the Memorial, and this was pretty close after the COVID restart. So I guess with all that information, I think all these guys are in play. I really don't think any of it really matters. Although this year, we have no 10K golfers that missed the cut either at the Genesis Scottish Open or the Open. So they could, okay, I'll say this, I'll change my tune a little bit. They could be burnt out, especially with jet lag. That is a very possible outcome. And look at Wyndham Clark, by the way, 11th in a 4th place finish. That's crazy. I don't think I'd put a lot of lineups with Chris Gotterup and Wyndham Clark together, because if you follow the SweetSpot process, very rarely do you have golfers with the same stat profiles going into an event and finishing at the top of the leaderboard. So I'm probably going to stay away from, pairing those guys up together. But if you weren't even thinking about it, then don't worry about it. Grazerman, by the way, yeah, it could actually be a pretty decent play. Same with Pendrith. Any of these guys that missed the cut, I might try to focus and putting those guys in, because they probably got an extra day, an extra 2 days to get over, missing the cut. Well, with the jet lag and whatever that comes with traveling overseas. So definitely worth the consideration. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys to looking at the optimal lineups. There are 2 tools you can use. Again, past salary builds and past optimals. Past salary builds, this page right here, will give you a zoomed out look, while the past optimal GPP winners will give you a zoomed in look. You can see all the golfers. You can see what the price tags are, all that good stuff by clicking what lineup you want to look at. So you can do all the research that you want. Again, this is at SweetSpotDFS.com under Fantasy Tools, Past Optimals, and Past Salary Builds. That's all I have for that. Wheels Up says Sam and Mav. That sounds like a good combo. I like that. Finau just settled a lawsuit. Yeah, I heard that. That was a while ago, right? I mean, he's been battling this for a while. Grazerman 145th with driving accuracy. Is that what you say? Is that what you meant? Grazerman. Oh my God. Oh my God. 28% at the Open, 30% at the Scottish Open, and it's 70%, 48%, 59%. These are okay here, not 39s, but anything greater than 55 or 54, even this Charles Schwab, he's still gained off the tee, being 40 or 53% accurate. That's fine. 48's not very good, but he still gained off the tee because he hits it pretty far. But this is pretty, yeah, very bad. Very, very bad. And you can see he lost off the tee. Still hitting it a mile, but still not good. And he missed the cut because of it. So you can look at that one of two ways. One, everything comes back to the mean. Everything averages out to the mean. So 2 bad weeks and 1 good week average out. So maybe he will hit the ball a little straighter this week. But I see the cause for concern. I would be concerned too. Thank you for pointing that out, because I did like the idea of Max Grazerman in my lineups because he finished here well last year. And that's actually a good point. You can use this tool looking at the 3M Open and going to 2024. Actually, let's not use the 3M Open. Let's just remove that, but still use 2024 and go to Max Grazerman. And we can find where the 3M Open is, where he finished second, and look at his stats leading into the event. 46% at driving accuracy at the Genesis Scottish Open. He did not play in the Open Championship in 2024, but he did finish 21st, so that was good. And then he was coming in with, you know, better accuracy. I mean, kind of the same, I guess, kind of the same. Hit it 50% accurate at the 3M. Gained a little bit off the tee. So maybe we can forgive. Like I said, everything comes back to the mean. So maybe playing Max Grazerman after 2 bad weeks is probably the smart thing to do. I was just Jekyll and Hyde right there about Max Grazerman. But that's the thing about digging into it and doing some research is, well, what did he look like last year coming into this event? How did he finish well here? Was he coming in with good recent form? No, he wasn't. He wasn't coming in with good recent form. I guess the finishes were good, but not the driving, right? So the maybe just because of how bad he was playing at the Open and the 3M Open, or not the 3M, but the Genesis Scottish Open, maybe that's worth concern and we should stay away. Completely up to you guys. You want my thoughts on it? I don't even know. What's my exposure that I have set on the optimizer? Grazerman at 18%. Yeah, see, what I would do then, just by kind of looking at that, is I'd probably move that down to like 12%. Or maybe even 10%. 1 out of 10 lineups is fine. Or 1 out of 9 lineups is fine. I don't mind playing Max Grazerman that much, and I can limit myself from playing him too much and avoiding, you know, disaster, pretty much. Okay. Going up the chat yet again, because I was just answering AJ's question there. Looks like Kanaya, Z Johnson, Garnett, Snedeker, Putnam, top 10 in accuracy. The only person I like in that group is Putnam. And maybe Garnett. Garnett could be a fringe play. I don't mind that. But Snedeker has limited upside. ZJ has limited upside. And Takumi Kanaya, he's popped up in a lot of these, and he just doesn't play well enough. So I'm going to stay away from him. Jim Lemoyne, what's going on, man? I'll take Clark at 25-1. There you go. Okay, so that's pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Normally I'd go into a review of the Open. I'm not going to. I'll say this. I told you Scotty Scheffler was going to win. I was so bullish on Scotty. I had some really good lineups that just did not win me money. I mean, I got real close to doubling my money, super close with those winner take alls. I was up on the $3,000 winner take all for a little bit. I was up on the two $1,000 ones. I had a pretty decent lineup with the Millie Maker, but I had Denny McCarthy in it and he missed the cut, which sucked, but that had Scotty in it. I think it had Wyndham Clark in it and another guy that finished inside the top 10, but I still didn't win money with one missed cut. 3 top 10s, 1 missed cut, didn't win money. That's because a lot of people, well, I should say a lot of people, but a lot of the top end up guys had Harris English, Scotty Scheffler, and I can't remember who else. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Oh, I had Xander in my lineup. That's who I also had Xander. That was one of my top 10 guys. It was Xander, Scotty, and I think Wyndham Clark. And I didn't win my money. I didn't double up. I didn't min cash, which is annoying. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to talk about when it comes to the review. How about this? Let's do a because I mean, when I get into the bucket system, this could you know, take some time. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put these into the monthly giveaway and then remove them. Let's do a roll call. Who are you playing this week? Who's your #1 golfer you want to put in your lineups this week? Here, I'll put the list of golfers right here. There could be more, but who's the one golfer you want to play in your DFS lineups, your DraftKings lineups this week? AJ Love says, you going with Cam Champ? I like it. I kind of like it. Joanne says McNeely. I like McNeely as well. Dave Dean, what's going on, man? Knapp, the Knapper. Wheels up with Super. Hey, man. I was I meant to enter the Drive the Green contest for the alternate, but I did the single entry instead. Doubled my money in that, and I had Jackson Suber in that lineup. Lombardi Lee says Ricky Fowler. I actually like Ricky this week as well. Brian John says Thor. Hey, the god of lightning or the god of thunder, if he shows up to Minnesota with a bunch of us Norsemen, I could see him. I could see him winning this tournament. Kashmir Keith for Pat Jennings. Jim Lemoyne with Akshay Bhatia. Hey, fun fact, the optimizer, the best lineup it builds is very balanced. It's a 998877 and Akshay Bhatia is in it. So hey, I don't mind it. John Bizzle, what's going on, John? John, I still owe you money, man. You have not gone back to me since a while ago. Ryan Henson says War Pig. Is that your nickname for Grillo? Tara, what's going on? Tara says got her up. I like it. All right, that's roll call #1. If you're still coming into the chat, then wonderful. You can go ahead and post your lineups. Okay. We are going to get into the bucket system. We're going to do that right now. All right, so you can follow along with me if you so choose. You can go to the cheat sheet. Again, you can find that on the website. So go to the website. At the home page, find Fantasy Tools. There's a little drop-down menu, and go to Cheat Sheet. Once you are at the cheat sheet, scroll down to the bottom. Click here. A cheat sheet will pop up, and then on the tabs down to on the bottom of the sheet, there's one called Bucket System. Go check that one out, and you can follow along with me. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put filters on this, and I'm more interested in narrowing down on some of these stat groups or these buckets to start my lineups around, to anchor my lineups around. So what I like to do, you can do this however you want. Again, you can use the cheat sheet, but what I like to do is I like to go into the min projections and go filter by condition, and in here go greater than or equal to 1. So this is the first filter I would put in. Basically what this is saying is we expect at least one golfer from the bucket to finish inside the top 10. At least one. Now there is a caveat to this. If the max projection isn't greater than 2, I don't really consider a bucket that has a 1 for the minimum to actually mean you want at least 1. I've done this long enough. I understand this is such a narrow bucket. You know, like the last week ones is such a narrow bucket. There aren't as many golfers in it as other buckets, and a 1 to 2 projected bucket isn't a for sure thing. I still will give it its credit. I will still say, hey, there's a very high likelihood that's still going to happen, but I'm leery of it. And by the way, if you didn't already know this, minimum projection we always round down. Maximum projection we always round up. So 1.35 that rounds down to 1. 2.25 for the max projection rounds up to 3. So technically this bucket is a 1 to 3, but if you've been here before, you kind of already know if it's this close, like 2.25 is pretty close to being underneath 2. And I also use this max projection over here, which incorporates the sweet spot score. That goes even lower to 2.12. So on the optimizer, I actually have this as a 0 to 3 bucket. So throwing that out there is a little bit of a wrinkle. Don't mind it if you're new to the channel, but if you've been here before, you already know this stuff. You already know this stuff. But these technically would be the anchor buckets you'd want to look at. Now, I would go a layer deeper, go filter by condition under max projection, and then go greater than or equal. I would say, let's just do 2 for now. But you're going to see that one bucket I was just talking about that I was like, maybe that could be under 0. So there's another layer that I'm going to go deeper, and I'm going to use this max projection, which you can also do on the cheat sheet. And I'm going to take a look at these numbers. Anything super close to under 2, I'm going to go over. So I'm going to go over 2.12. So filter by condition, and I'm going to go greater than or equal to 2.13. This means he'll skip out the 2.12, the 2.11, and now these are your true anchor buckets. These are the buckets that I think you want to play at least one golfer out of. Here's the thing. This is the thing that kind of sucks. If you look at how many golfers are in this bucket, in each of these buckets, I've zoomed in for you guys to see this. 73 golfers in the last year's 6 bucket. Not really an anchor bucket. That's a volume driven bucket. I mean, yeah, anchor bucket as in there'll probably be one golfer out of that bucket to finish inside the top 10, if not 2, if not 3. But out of 73 golfers, yeah, good luck. Good luck finding the needle in the haystack there. Next bucket's not any better. Last week 5s, 62 of them. No thanks. The one after that, recent form 2s, 20. That's a little easier to digest. That's a 1 to 3 bucket. So I'll just show you how to use the bucket, or how to use the dream sheet in combination with the bucket system. And I'm going to have the salary sorted from top to bottom. And we're talking about the recent form 2 bucket. So the recent form 2 bucket, if I go back to this summary page, back to the bucket system, it says we want 1 to 3 golfers from this bucket. And there's 20 of them. So we look at all 20 of the golfers. Starts with Sam Burns. You have all 10K golfers here. So right away, when I was talking about pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, Burns, McNeely, and Goddard. Start your lineup with a 10K golfer and don't look back. It just makes it easier to pick a golfer from this bucket right then and there. We do have 2 9K golfers, Ricky Fowler and Taylor Pendrith. 3 8K golfers, Kitayama, Scott, and you, and then Cameron Champ, which I think, what was it, AJ, you picked Cam Champ. There he is in that bucket. You also have Rico Hoey, Vince Whaley. These guys, Vince Whaley was playing some pretty good golf recently. I think he was, what, 4th at the Barbasol, and he finished top 10 at the Barracuda? No, he finished 23rd at the Barracuda. But he was playing, or I think he was inside the top 10 at some point in time. I just remember seeing a leaderboard. I don't remember if it was round 2 or round 3, but Whaley was up at the top. Kevin Roy, and then these golfers I don't really care. Andrew Putnam was a guy that we were talking about. I don't mind putting Andrew Putnam and Wheels Up, Jackson Suber. There we go. Jackson Suber's in here. So this is a bucket where we want 1 to 3. I think it's easy to put 3 golfers in our in here. I mean, Burns and Fowler, that's fine. Or maybe we just skip all of these golfers and go to like Cam Champ. Maybe you put in Jackson Suber. We got our 3 that way. Or I could even go like this. I get Sam Burns, Putnam, and Suber. I'm saving a ton of money by getting these cheap golfers, 7K golfers, $6,900 golfer, and a 10.5. I'm using up $24,400 of the salary, which means, if I'm doing my math correct, I have $26,600 to spend on the remaining 3 golfers. That's almost averaging out to be 9K golfers, 3 9Ks. I imagine I'll put another 9K golfer in there and maybe 2 8Ks. So it could go 10, 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, or maybe I go 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, or 7, 7, 6, something like that. We can do a lot of different things. So yeah, that bucket I like. This one is kind of a fun one to pick golfers from. The next one, 52 golfers in that bucket. I'm not going to talk about that one. 55 in the following bucket. Not going to talk about that one. 42 in the following bucket. I'm not going to talk about that one. And then 31 in the strokes gained 2 bucket. I suppose we can talk about that one. But holy, these are very large buckets, and it doesn't surprise me that, you know, those buckets you want to grab golfers from. Strokes gained 2. There are 31 golfers in this bucket, and our projection is 2 to 4, but I bet you this is 1 to 4 in the optimizer. I have 0 to 2. Did I not? Oh, I didn't update this. Okay. Let me update this really fast. I'm going to remove my filters. I'm going to exit the view. I do remember I didn't. This is the only thing on the optimizer I didn't. I was starting to do salaries, and then something, I was updating the wrong part. So I went down to salaries, did that, and then I think it got distracted and just forgot. But I'm going to it's going to be 1 to 4. That strokes gained 2 bucket's going to be 1 to 4. Strokes gained 3 for me is going to be 0 to 3, not 1 to 3. Strokes gained 4 will be 0 to 2. Strokes gained 5 will be 0 to 2. And strokes gained 6 will be 0 to 1. So it looks like this now. Kind of like I just said. So strokes gained buckets right here. 0 to 2, 1 to 4 for the strokes gained 2 bucket, which we're looking at right now. 0 to 3, 0 to 2, 0 to 2, 0 to 1. Just throwing that out there, but we can take a look at strokes gained 2, and starts with Sam Burns and Chris Gotterup. So those 2 10K golfers we were just talking about, there you go. Ricky Fowler, by the way, was in the recent form 2 bucket that we were just talking about. So if you wanted to pair up, say, Burns or even Chris Gotterup with Ricky Fowler, that's a good 1-2 punch that you can start out, and you take 2 golfers out of those 2 buckets that we were just talking about. But yeah, there's a lot of other good golfers in here. Remember, you can pick up to 4 if you want. I don't know if that's the perfect way to do it, but yeah, 1 to 4. I think that's fine. And if I go ahead and put the filters back on, should bring me back to the anchor buckets, and there's no other ones to talk about. I guess what I can do is go less than or greater than 2. And then remove this filter over here and go none. And I do have these buckets that have at least 1 golfer in them, and really just be the last week 1 golfers that I'd want to look at. And these aren't anchor bucket golfers, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I'm just curious to see who's in this bucket and if it's worthwhile to select. So 4 golfers 8K and above. And they're decent. Goddard, Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler, Kurt Kitayama. Don't mind any of them. There's Jackson Suber yet again for Wheels Up. That's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a strong take one way or the other on any of these guys. So that is the bucket system for the 3M Open. Let's move on to the marquee tee times. But first, let me check. So Ryan says, War Pig, my favorite Black Sabbath song. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Did Ozzy die? What? Oh my God. Oh man. They just did a tribute for him not too long ago either. That's insane. How old was he? Okay. Well, yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy. I put a version of me singing Mama, I'm Coming Home on my YouTube channel today. Oh, well, I'm going to go check that out, AJ. That's cool. Hot damn. I've been working all day, whether it's my real job or trying to put all this stuff together before jumping online. I've not looked at the news one bit. 76? It'd been nice for him to live a little bit longer, but that's his last show was 2 weeks ago. That's cool. Man. Yeah, it's a legend. Legend gone. All right. Let's transition to the marquee tee times. What a better way to go into that. Just like everything else, you can follow along on the cheat sheet. Find that in the description or go to SweetSpotDFS.com, link in the description. When you're there, again, go to the cheat sheet, fantasy tools, cheat sheet, scroll down to the bottom, click here for the cheat sheet. It'll bring you up to this page. And under column O, you'll find the group rank. And that is what I sorted by A to Z under group rank. And these will give us our top 9 groups. And I will highlight them right now. These are the top 9 groups of the 3M Open according to the SweetSpot score, or a different way to say that, the model that I've provided. It's going to have pretty much the best 27 golfers, but not really. It's just the best groups. Because you could have a really good golfer in a group with 2 really bad golfers, and they're not going to sniff the marquee tee times. So I'll talk through these groups. I want you to all remember one thing. I'm going to be building lineups shortly after this. I would prefer you to pick 2 to 4 golfers from the marquee tee times and have them not paired up together. What we've seen, it's like a 90% success rate. If you play 2 to 4 golfers from the marquee tee times and you don't pair them up together with other golfers in their group, you will have success, at least by anchoring your lineups around this method of lineup building. So, first group, Ricky Fowler, Taylor Pendrith, Tony Finau, all in the 9K range. I think they're all fine. If you wanted to start your lineups around any of those guys, perfect. Group 2 is Chris Goddard, Wyndham Clark, and Adam Scott. 10K, 9K, 8K. Unfortunately, that's not the way to start with those 3 guys. Choose one of them. And I don't really care who. Like, I imagine a lot of people probably won't be that interested in playing Adam Scott. I think it's probably a good time to play Adam Scott. I was on Wyndham Clark at the Open Championship as well as the Genesis Scottish Open. If I'm a barometer as to how well Wyndham Clark's going to play, my feelings this week is don't play Wyndham Clark. There's something about just playing really good golf, you know, in consecutive weeks and then traveling a far distance away or coming back to the United States from England. And I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about, like, you know, I was given crap about some people not being on Wyndham Clark during the Open or during the Genesis Scottish Open because of things that happened at the US Open where he punched in a locker and all that kind of stuff. I do think this is enough of a distraction or enough of a, what would you call it? I think it's just going to be difficult. I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think it's worthwhile to play Wyndham Clark. I think we just skip Wyndham Clark. Or at least if you're going to play 100 lineups like me, put them in 8% of your lineups. I think that's fine. If you're building 100 lineups, have 8 of them with Wyndham Clark in them. I think that's fine. And I'm not that really keen on playing Chris Gotterup either, but I do think Chris Gotterup is definitely coming into his own. I was watching something a couple weeks ago where, and maybe I was listening on the PGA Tour radio, where they're talking about Chris Gotterup and how he was going to be like one of the next Victor Hovlands coming into the tour. And I don't remember that at all about Chris Gotterup. But he was one of those that had a lot of talent coming into the PGA Tour or Korn Ferry Tour from college, and then just didn't really deliver. So I don't know. If you like Chris Gotterup, that's fine. I'm not even saying one way or another to not play any of these guys or to play any of them. I think I'm iffy on all 3 of them, but I will play some of them. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but it is what it is. I do like the next group. I like all 3 of them. Jake Knapp, Akshay Bhatia, and William Au. It was a few weeks ago, I was talking about William Au going like, you know what? He's a pretty good 6K golfer to put in your lineup. Why not? And then he goes and wins the Barbasol Championship. He's $7,000 now. He's not in the 6K range, but it's still, with how soft pricing is for the 3M Open, I don't hate playing William Au. I do like the idea of Akshay Bhatia this week, and I do also like the idea of Jake Knapp. I think this is a golf course that Jake Knapp can play really well at. I think this golf course really suits Jake Knapp's game. So I do like Jake Knapp at $8,900. Group 4 is Sam Burns, Hao Tong Lee, and Johnny Vegas. I don't like the group like together. This is one of those moments where I think you're going to get a high caliber golfer in Sam Burns who might just be annoyed having to play with someone like Hao Tong Lee and Johnny Vegas. Now, Johnny Vegas, obviously he's a defending champion. So maybe there's a little bit of prestige that Sam Burns. What I'm trying to get at is Sam Burns, to me, is definitely the best golfer in the field. I understand he's the top price guy and it's a no-brainer, right? But I've been on the Sam Burns train for a while. I know he's got a high pedigree, like he's got a very elite game when he's on. He obviously hasn't been on from the beginning of this year up until a few weeks ago. But his potential is just, it's off. It's in this field, it's through the roof, his potential. So what I'm getting at is a golfer of that prestige might find a group like this annoying to play in, because I wouldn't necessarily, although Hao Tong Lee played well at the Open, I wouldn't think he's in Sam Burns' echelon. And Johnny Vegas has won on tour several times, so maybe Sam Burns is okay with that, but I could see Sam Burns being annoyed of being in a group like this. So I think that's the only knock that I'm going to have on Sam Burns this week is this starting group kind of sucks. Like, I'm not kidding. I don't think, and I don't know any of them. I do know Hao Tong Lee is a bit of a spaz. Like, if you look at how he celebrates tournaments or gets down on himself when he's playing bad, he's a bit of a spaz. Johnny Vegas is kind of cool, calm, and collected. He seems like a cool dude. And if Sam Burns is a big baseball guy, then he and Johnny Vegas can talk about baseball a lot. So I could be completely wrong about this group. But yeah, I like Sam Burns the most. Next group, Grazerman, Hosler, and the mustache man, Chandler Phillips. I would like Grazerman a bit more if we didn't do the deep dive of the accuracy, the driving accuracy thing. I still will play Max Grazerman. Just won't be as much as I think I was intending on. I was thinking about playing him in like 16 to 20% of my lineups, but I think I'm going to limit him to somewhere between 10 to 12%. Bo Hosler, I got no issue playing Bo. Bo just did well at the Barracuda over in Tahoe, or was it Reno, or is it Lake Tahoe? It was wherever, Truckee, Nevada. I think that's okay. I don't think that'll affect his game. If anything, I think it provides him a little bit more confidence coming into this event. So yeah, I don't mind playing Bo, and I don't mind playing Chandler Phillips. I think this is a good golf course for Chandler Phillips. The next group is Sung J M, Tom Kim, and Eric Van Rooyen. This group, if they were playing together last year or even the year before that, they'd be the #1 group in this field. I kind of like this group quite a bit. Tom Kim, small hands Tom Kim. Holy crap. What happened to that guy's game? I can't believe he's been playing as bad as he's been playing. Missed the cut at the Open. Everything was negative except for putting. Not hitting the ball far. 50% accuracy off the tee. 50% greens and reg. Yeah, that's pretty bad. 17th at the Genesis Scottish Open, so that was good. But then a missed cut at the John Deere, which is kind of equivalent to this event. -4 off the tee. Look at all of this minus. He's just been awful with the driver. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that for this event. And by the way, what's the beauty about the sweet spot process is it gets you on golfers that aren't doing well for reasons you wouldn't think about before. And a marquee tee time could be one of those things. He's playing in a group with Sung J M. I think they're both South Koreans, right? So that might just be enough. And it's an all international, although Tom Kim, yeah, no, it's an all international field, or not field, a group. Eric Van Rooyen is a South African, and then you got the 2 Koreans, Tom Kim, Sung J M. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to get to be playing well, playing better than he was before. So I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. The next group, again, if this was last year or even the year before, Max Homa sucked last year. The year before, Mav McNeely would not be 10-3. He'd be actually 7,500, but he'd be an up and coming golfer that you'd want to be putting in your lineup. But Max Homa would be your 10K golfer, and Sahith would be a 9K golfer, if not a 10K golfer. I think 2 years ago, Sahith was a 10K golfer, and he was inside the top 10. Sahith is coming back from injury. What has Sahith been doing recently? That might change my opinion on playing Sahith. Missed the cut at the Open, missed the cut at the Memorial, so nah, that's not good. Approach is bad. Ball striking is just bad. Yeah, I don't. Okay, no. This isn't a golf course you're just going to get it back at. I will limit my exposure to Sahith, and maybe I put that on. I got to put that on here right now. Sahith Theegala, 14%. I'm going to bump that down to 6%. So that's kind of just 7%. That's just how I'm feeling about Sahith Theegala, 7%. But yeah, Mav McNeely I think is a solid play at 10,300. Yeah, sign me up. I like Mav. I actually don't mind playing Max Homa. He played okay. He started out rough at the Barracuda Championship and came back and played pretty decently. The next group, Thorbjorn Olesen, Kevin Roy, and Andrew Putnam. All 3 of them, 7K range. All 3 of them glue pieces in a lineup. I think they're fine. I wouldn't play all 3 of them obviously together. I wouldn't even play 2 of them together. But if you need glue pieces in your lineup, these are perfect fillers. Olesen, Roy, and Putnam. I think they're good plays. And then the next group is interesting. Thorbjornsen, Rio Hisatsune, and Chad Ramey. Y'all know I like the assassin. That's my nickname for Rio. And I don't mind the Thunder Bear. the son of the Thunder Bear, Michael Thorbjornsen. This is a really good golf course for him. I think it could, especially if he keeps it straight, he could eat this golf course up. So that's also another good group. And yeah, it's another good group. And he's $8,500. I will say this. I think the optimizer is going to pick Rio a ton, and that's fine. Rio's a decent player. I don't mind going to Rio. So those are your marquee tee times. So now I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm going to put some music on, and we're going to build some lineups. I'm going to spend 3 minutes on each person building lineups. We'll get, actually, it's going to be 5 lineups or 3 minutes, whatever comes first. And we will build lineups. I want you guys to give me 2 to 4 golfers to build your lineups around. I'll keep this on the screen. Go ahead, put in the chat whenever you guys are ready. Dave Dean says, I think of Randy Rhodes. Was that from a golfer I was talking about? Small hand sucks. Yeah. Okay. Wheels Up likes Suber, of course. Steve Stallings Jr. Okay. Sung JM. Nathan Johnson. What's going on, man? Fowler and Burns. I love it. Tara says Burns and Mitchell. Love it. Dave, Burns, Knapp, and Putnam. There you go. I like that. Brian John wants Burns, Max, and Thorbjorn. Tell me which Thor. There's Thorbjorn Olesen and there's Michael Thorbjornsen. Joanne wants McNeely Roy. AJ Love says Fowler Roy. There we go. You thought it was Scott Stallings for a moment? Yeah. Nope, Steven Smallings. All right, look at this. We got a lot of people. A lot of people wanting lineups. You got it, guys. All right, so I will start with the first person on the board. That is Wheels Up. Let me go ahead and load those golfers in. In fact, what I'm going to do is copy over the ownership here and paste it right here. Oh boy, I need to do more than that. I didn't save. Oh boy. If you didn't know, these are all the defaults go. Thought I did. So in case you hit the reset buttons or anything like that, all that information comes from over here. Okay. So Suber Stallings and Sung Jae. This is like the third week that Wheels Up has been on Sung Jae and he's not performed. What was it, 2 weeks ago he was okay? $6,100. Oh my god, dude. You're a sicko. You are a sicko. I think the best way to do this is give everybody that's 9K and above 100% for exposure and keep everybody else under 18. I think that's how this will work. This is the best way to build lineups. Okay. Michael Thorbjornsen. Okay. Sounds good. Alrighty, timer is going on the screen. Right meow. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta change, and you're gonna get the logo flash yet again. Forgot. Oh my god, dude, I hear a lot. Yeah, you're a sicko, dude. You're a sicko. All right. Timer. On the screen, we are building lineups for Wheels Up, Suber, Stallings, and Sungjae. And it breaks. Why does it break? I mean, of course it breaks. It's because I want two 7K golfers. Okay. I think we're fine. I think it'll build now. All right, so it's Burns, Pendrith, Im, Lee Hodges, Suber, and Stallings. Down with the sickness. Burns, Grazerman, Sungjae, Cam Champ, Jackson. There, that's the best lineup right there. You know what? You deserve one of these just for that song, or just for that lineup. It's a sexy lineup. It deserves a sexy song. That was, I mean, you don't need to build any more lineups. This is it right here. You can't get any better than that. Uh-oh, it's breaking on me. All right, well, we'll go with no 7K golfers, although the bucket system says we want at least two 7K golfers. We'll break it just for you, man. Burns, Grazerman, Im, you, Suber, Steven Stallings. I'm hoping to see a lot of Champ. I think you will. Burns, Grazerman, Sungjae, Adam Scott, Suber, and Steven Stallings Jr. Last lineup for Mr. Wheels Up. It is Burns, Sungjae, Davey Boy Thompson, Emiliano Grillo, Jackson Suber, and Steven Stallings. How about one more, I guess? One more. Nope, you don't get one more. That's all. That's all you got. That's all you could get from the optimizer. I mean, we built one really good one, so that's all that's needed. Alrighty. That was Wheels Up with his eclectic group of golfers. Nathan Johnson, come on down. Nathan wants Fowler and Burns. I like this combo. This will be somewhat easy to build lineups around. Nathan, are you ready, sir? Let me know. Ready? Alrighty. Timer on the screen. There you go. 3 minutes or 5 lineups. First lineup is Burns, Fowler, Kit Ayama, Benny Ann, Mac Hughes, and the Assassin, Rio Hisatsune. I love it. It's a good lineup. Burns, Fowler, Grazerman, Eric Cole, the Assassin, and Joe Highsmith. Would I want Joe Highsmith here? Do we think the comp to PGA National is good enough? I don't think so. I don't want to, you know, maybe this is the week to play Joe Highsmith. He's just been awful. Sure. We got to save at least one Joe Highsmith lineup. Next lineup is Burns, Fowler, you, Bridgman, Sam Stevens, one of my favorite plays this week, Sam Stevens, Tom Hoagie. Okay. Tom Hoagie kind of sucked at the Open or at the Genesis, one of the two, but I don't mind going back to him. This is a good lineup right here. Burns, Fowler, Grazerman, Matt McCarty, Victor Perez, Justin Lauer. Justin Lauer at $6,400 I think is going to be a decent play this week. And then, ooh, there we go. Kind of saving the best for last. We get Burns, Fowler, Whaley, Thigala, Schmid, and Matt McCarty. Okay. Let's see one last one for you. Those are pretty good lineups, by the way. Burns, Fowler, Kitayama, Hughes, Perez, and Davis Riley. I like that one too. All right, I probably like that one better than one of the first ones. Well, shoot. What would I change? Maybe the Grazerman lineup? The other one that has Victor Perez in it with Justin Lauer? I'm gonna change out the Highsmith lineup. Sure, that works for me. Okay, well, I mean, those are 6 lineups for you. Whatever you like. All right, moving on. Tara. Tara wants Burns and Mitchell, Cashmere Keith, and Sammy Biscuits. All right, Tara, you in the chat? You ready? Byron is bicycling across country, so you probably won't be here tonight. Yeah, I saw that. It's the Ragbri. Wheels up, you're welcome, man. My hand-build lineup, that core was Suber, Im, Burns, Steven Stallings, Mav, Matthew, McCarty. Okay. Did we get close to that? Not sure. Tara says she's ready. Let's do this. First lineup is Sam Burns, Max Grazerman, Keith Mitchell, Sam Stevens, Kevin Roy, and Joe Highsmith. Okay, so we're transferring the Joe Highsmith to your lineup. That core of 5 golfers right there is solid. Absolutely solid. Burns, Grazerman, Mitchell, Roy, Benny N, and Eric Cole. Yeah, that's another good lineup. Burns, Pendrith, Mitchell, Schmid, Roy, Davis Riley. How many Roy is that? Is that 3 in a row now? Yeah, it's 3 in a row. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Unless you like Kevin Roy, you got it. You have that lineup. But what is he? 73? Yeah. That's just too much Kevin Roy for the limited amount of lineups that I'm building for you guys. Too much. 19%. Eesh. Burns, Grazerman, Mitchell, Vince Whaley, Tom Hoagie, Antoine Rosner. Yeah, let's try again. I don't want Tom Hoagie. Close to home, North Dakota boy. Burns, Penrith, Mitchell, Schmid, Cole, and Riley. This is a way better lineup. I like this lineup a lot. In fact, I like it so much that I'm going to do a song. Sexy lineup. Deserves a sexy song. Burns, Penrith, Mitchell, Schmid, Bo Hosler, and Chris Kirk. That's a really good lineup too. It's a really good lineup. And let's see. Last one. Burns, Mitchell, you, Whaley, Bridgman, Tom Kim. Sure. Why not? 10, 2 8s, and 3 7s. By the way, that was one of those lineup constructions that we did see as one of the most common ones. Just, I don't have the filters up. I should have left them up. I would have shown you. And this lineup here is pretty solid too. Burns, Grazerman, Mitchell, Thigala, Woodland, and Antoine Rosner. Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup. All right, that was an extra one for you. And do I like it better than any of the other ones? probably the Highsmith one. I would substitute this one out, or I'd substitute this one out for this one. But I'm going to keep this bottom one just so we don't have to continue picking Highsmith. All right, Tara. Those were your lineups. Dave Dean, are you in the chat? Burns, Knapp, and Putnam. Burns. Knapp. And Putnam. Oh my God, 7,000? Jeez, that's insane. Let's go, he says. Lego. All right. Timer is on the screen. Here we go. First lineup is Burns, Grazerman, Knapp, Stevens, Putnam, and Steven Fisk. Yeah, sign me up, man. It's a really good lineup. I like that one. Burns, Grazerman, Knapp, Hubbard, Putnam, and Seamus Power. Sure, why not? That's fine. I like this one too. Burns, Grazerman, Knapp, Hodges, Putnam, Celinda. Do you like Grazerman that much? That's 3 Grazermans in a row. Do you want me to kick out Grazerman? Drop him. Okay. Grazer, man. Gone. What's going on, Charlie Carden? Burns, Pendrith, Knapp, Alex, Noren, Putnam, and Chan Kim. That might be my favorite lineup of the night so far. That's a great lineup. So good. I enjoy that lineup quite a bit. Burns, Knapp, Scott, Lee Hodges, Schmid, and Putnam. That's another good lineup. That is, ooh, I like that combo of golfers. And the last one, just a little consolation one for you. Burns, Pendrith, Knapp, McCarty, Putnam, and Eric Cole. Yeah, it's another good lineup. I won't save that one, but it's solid. It is solid. Charlie Carden, you said you think could forget about Hoagie recent form for this week. He's such a good birdie maker historically. I could. And that's that's like the beauty of the bucket system and just the sweet spot process is it's trying to get you on golfers that are also bad, because you can't just put 6 really good golfers in your lineup or 6 recent form 1 golfers, which obviously means they have the best recent form coming into the event. You can't put those guys all in a lineup. You got to find some golfers that aren't that good or haven't been good for a while. So yeah, Hoagie's not bad. I mean, if the optimizer selects them, I'm not going to just be like, nah, never mind. Don't want that. It'd be foolish on my part. I've done this lineup building a little too much. That you have to embrace that kind of volatility. All right, Dave, those were your lineups. Moving on to Brian John. Wants Burns, Homa, and Michael Thorbjornsson. Hey, Charlie Carden, how do you feel about Sam Burns this week? Kind of the Sam Burns whisperer. Are too many people on Sam Burns this week, which makes you uncomfortable playing him, or are you going to load up on Sam Burns? Ready. Brian says he's ready. All right, timer's on the screen. I forgot to mention this with everyone else, but it's still always on the table. If you don't like someone, just say kick, and then we'll kick them. All right, so we break it right away. Let's see why we broke it. What do we got? What do we have? One last year one, or what are similar stats? What are we maxed out on? We get our last year 6. That's good. We have one. We have 0 last week 5s, and it looks like we want at least somewhere between 2 to 5. Should I lower that? Actually, what did I have? I think I updated one of the buckets, right? Recent form 2, 3, and 4. Recent form 2. It's a 1. That's a 3, so that's good. Let's try this. Hold on. Let's see if this will work. It does. Okay. It had a lot to do with the oh, you didn't want Putnam in your lineup. Oh, we were anchoring around Putnam. My bad. I needed to get rid of Putnam. I think it might work with the original. It does. Oh, okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. We are A-okay. Don't mind me. Joanne, good night. Watch the rest of the morning. Good luck this week, everyone. Good luck to you, too. Has everyone picked Burnsy? No, but a good majority of us have. McNeely and Goddard are a higher projected own than Burnsy? Really? That's got to be because other streamers out there are being like, oh, you can't play these guys too much. All right, Brian, we can get back to building lineups for you. Timer's on the screen. Here we go. I think this is the first one, right? We'll see. I just removed some dudes. All right, first one is Burns, Thorbjornsen, Homa, Whaley, Kim, and Benny Ann. That one's fine. That one's okay. Burns, Thorbjornsen, Homa, Smalley, Tom Kim, Matt McCarty. Don't hate it. Grazerman versus Homa. Oh, okay. I see. I'm sorry. You wanted Grazerman, not Max Homa. My bad. I should have probably clarified. All right, we'll start it over. All right, here we go. We get Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Kevin Roy, Mac Hughes, and Victor Perez. I like Victor Perez at this golf course. Pretty good. Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Roy McCarty, and Eric Cole. Okay. Matt McCarty's getting the boot. Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Stevens, Roy, and Adam Hadwin. I like that lineup a lot, to be honest. Like I said, Sam Stevens, one of my favorite 7K plays this week. And he did well 2 years ago, by the way. He was at the top of the leaderboard for a little while. I'm on Perez heavy. Okay. Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Vince Whaley, Tom Hoagie, and Hayden Springer. Springer is one of those that if he can keep it straight, he's going to eat this golf course alive. But that's a big if. Big what if. I don't hate it. Then we get Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Whaley, Byung-Hun, and Isaiah Salinda. Sure. It's a pretty solid lineup. 10-9-8, 7-7-6. Wonderful. And one last one for the road. It's a pretty good one. Burns, Grazerman, Thorbjornsen, Tom Kim, Hubbard, and Gary Woodland. Okay. I actually didn't need to create another one, but that's all right. We did anyways. All right. Those were lineups for Brian John. Brian, I'm moving on to Joanne, who just left. She said she'd watch this in the morning. We'll go. Whoa. She wants McNeely and Roy. Kevin Wah. All right. Since Joanne's not here, I'm not going to say ready. McNeely, Grazerman, you, Hodges, Schmid, and Kevin Roy. It's a really good lineup. 10, 9, 8, and 3 7s. Love it. McNeely, Grazerman, you, Jesper Svensson. He was actually he was in my Millie Maker lineup. He made the cut at the Open, but then finished 40th or something, or 30th something. I don't know. Taylor Moore. He's been playing some awful golf this year, but again, the bucket system teaches us to forget about those things and just play whatever it chooses. I bet you she wouldn't want this much Grazerman. McNeely, Grazerman, Grillo, Bridgman, Roy, and Woodland. I bet you she probably likes Woodland. So I'm going to kick out Grazerman and rerun this. Bring back Woodland, or the possibility of choosing Woodland. How you feeling about Big Tony? I don't mind him. I'd mentioned him earlier in the stream that during the marquee tee times that I thought Finau would be a good play. McNeely, Pendrith, Grillo, Bridgman, Roy, and Gary Woodland. There we go. We get rid of Grazerman and we end up adding Pendrith. That's fine. Next lineup is McNeely, Pendrith, Grillo. She probably doesn't want that much Grillo. Not 2 in a row, at least. Try again. McNeely, Pendrith, Thorbjornsen, Taylor Moore, Kevin Roy, and Austin Eckroth. That's a solid lineup. I like that lineup a lot. And I'm going to kick out Taylor Moore. I don't want that much Taylor Moore. That's not 4 lineups in a row, is it? More. No more. More. Okay. Last lineup for Joanne. We get McNeely, Pendrith, Davis Thompson, Stevens, Roy, and Lauer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. I love it. Good lineup. Alrighty then. Those were lineups for Joanne. Those were pretty good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Jetty, thoughts on Batia? I don't mind Batia. I think Batia is a good play. I had mentioned this earlier in the stream. If you were just to run the optimizer, and I forgot to even show everybody what it looks like. I'm going to open up the optimizer because I think it has, yeah, it has it right here. So when I test these out before I send them to people, this is the optimizer I'll send to people. This, I always test it out, and the first lineup that shows up is the most optimal lineup based off the SweetSpot scores and all the conditionals that are in the optimizer. Akshay Bhatia is in there with Pendrith, Grazerman, Kitayama, Bhatia, Stevens, and Cole. I shouldn't say with, I just mentioned him again, but yeah. Those 6 golfers technically are in the most optimal lineup. Just with no no anchoring, nothing like that. So yeah. AJ says ready. I didn't even get to AJ. Settle down. You are next. Fowler and Roy. Okay. Ricky Fowler. And Kevin Roy. So I was just kicking them out of all the other ones. Now we anchor around them. You said you're ready, so we are ready. Timer is on the screen. First lineup: Fowler, Grazerman, Kitayama, Bhatia, Kevin Roy, Cam Davis. Cam Davis in this tournament, he has played well here before, so I don't mind it. Burns, Fowler, Grazerman, Roy, Eric Cole, and Adam Schenk. Ryan Henson, is this Adam Schenk season? Should we be playing Schenk? Has the optimizer picked Fowler on its own yet? Yeah. Yes, it has. Ricky Fowler, Max Grazer. Okay, do you want that much Max Grazerman? That's 2 in a row with Max Grazerman. This is a good lineup though. Fowler, 998877. It's a pretty solid lineup. Do you want me to kick out Grazerman? Let me know. The Grease Trap. Do you want him? I'm going to wait for your decision. I'm going to kick him out. Not big on Max if he's not accurate. Okay. Burns, Fowler, Bhatia, Kevin Roy, Benny N, and Mac Hughes. Sign me up. That's a good lineup. Burns, Fowler, Hodges, Sahith, Taylor Moore, and Kevin Roy. Kevin, so many Kevins. Okay, this is different, and it works. 10, 9, and 4 7s. That has shown up in the one of the optimal GPP SweetSpot optimals. Let me run one last one for you. Maybe we can get a good 10, 9, 8. Nope, 9, 9, 8. 777. Let's do one more. The first Wyndham Clark spotting, by the way. And this is a Fowler, Siwoo, Kitayama, Bridgman, Tom Kim, Kevin Roy lineup. Okay. I didn't really care for those last 2 lineups, but if you like them, you like them. Alrighty then. Those were lineups for AJ. Lombardi Lee, are you here? You are on deck, sir. After Lombardi, it is Ryan Henson. Lombardi is here. Okay, so he wants Ricky Fowler, Bhatia, and Lee Hodges. Wow. Wow. Okay. Here we go. Timer is on the screen. What's going on, Lombardi? Fowler, Grazerman, Scott, Bhatia, Hodges, and Gary Woodland. Solid. One more Grazerman lineup, and I'm kicking him out. And this is a good lineup too. But yeah, Grazerman is gone. This is the same lineup, but it has Schmidt in here instead of Gary Woodland. And I don't hate it. Jim Lemoyne, good luck to you too, sir. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. Burns, Fowler, Bhatia, Hodges, Bridgman, and Joe Highsmith. That was close. We'll try again. I don't want Highsmith in these lineups. This one's perfect. Burns, Fowler, Bhatia, Hodges, Schmid, and Hoagie. Thomas Hoagie. Bridgman. Why are you showing up so much, Bridgman? We're going to say no. I see why. His score is pretty high. This lineup is fine. Burns, Fowler, Bhatia, Hodges, Bridgman, Power. I don't want it. Burns, Fowler, Batia, Hodges, Taylor Moore, and Davis Riley. Sure. I don't want to see another Taylor Moore lineup though, so I'm gonna kick him out too. Not that we've seen a lot for Lombardi Lee, but just seen too much of him tonight. Burns, Fowler. So I guess anchoring around Fowler gives us Burns always. I don't really care for this lineup. You know what? Hold on. If these greens are bigger than 5,500 square feet, oh, they are. Okay, these greens are primed for Matt McCarty. Hold on, just wait. Timeout. Let's go back. And this lineup's fine, but let's put a McCarty lineup in there. I actually kind of like McCarty. Big greens, Matt McCarty. It's perfect for him. Austin Eckroat. Yeah. I don't know if I want that much Gary Woodland. There we go. Perfect. Burns, Fowler, Batia, Hodges, Hosler, Steven Fisk. Is that all Burns lineups for you? Nope. Almost. I'll save it and then I will kick out Burns and just see what you get. Fowler, Siwoo, Michael Thorbjornsen, Batia, Hodges, and Gary Woodland. Okay, that's fine. That one was a-okay, but nothing that I care too much about. All right, Mr. Henson, are you here? Ryan Henson. John Bizzle, you are on deck. Burns, Batia, and Garnett. Bryce Garnett. You're welcome, Lombardi. Okay. And Ryan Henson says, and you want me to add a fourth one here? Ryan Henson. All right, I'm going to start building lineups for you. Whatever you have, just add it. Okay, here we go. You got to play Garnett in Minnesota. I see. End one is what you, or not end one. Well, yeah, I get it. Burns, Penrith, Batia, Bridgman, Tom Kim, Bryce Garnett. I'm kicking Bridgman out. Optimizer loves Jacob Bridgman. The big ticket. No, my keyboard messed up. Okay. Blaming the keyboard. Burns, Penrith, Batia, Vince Whaley, Tom Kim, Bryce Garnett. Small hands, Tom Kim. I'm also going to kick him out. Oh, 18 likes. If I can get 7 more likes, I don't know who's all here, but I can get 7 more likes. I'm giving out 20, or I'm giving out 5 YouTube memberships. Burns, McNeely, Batia, Benny Ann, Tom Hoagie, Bryce Garnett. That's a good lineup. Two 10Ks, by the way. We haven't seen that tonight. I like it. Batia's showing. Oh yeah, you locked him in. I forgot. I think we did this one already, right? Or is this a different one? Oh, it's a different one. But it has Hoagie in it. Do you like Tom Hoagie? Burns, McNeely, Batia, McCarty, Hoagie, Garnett. Ryan Henson. Do we like Hoagie this much to put him in 2 lineups? We're gonna say no. It's a lot of Hoagie. I mean, it's a lineup if you want it. It's on the screen, or it was on the screen. I'm kicking out Hoagie. Burns, Wyndham Clark, Batia Thigala, Hughes. Oh, I like this lineup a lot. You know what? You get one of these, bud. I like that lineup a lot. Hoagie good, but you can kick? All right. Burns, Penrith, Batia, Thigala, Alex Noren. There we go. That's another lineup. You know what? Back to back. Sexy lineups. This is in contention for one of my favorites because I'm a sucker for Alex Noren. And Alex Noren 2 years ago played well here. Just throwing that out there. This is another good lineup here. Burns, Penrith, Batia, Whaley, Olesen, Thorbjorn Olesen, and Bryce Garnett. Solid, solid, solid. I like those were good lineups at the end there. All right, John Bizzle. Oh no. Oh no. Look who John wants in his lineups. Oh no. Oh no. I feel sick to my stomach. Do I have that? Hold on. I think I do, right? He did? Okay, hold on. He might be on to something. He went 36th at the Canadian Open, 31st at the John Deere, and 8th at Barbasol. That's us rewinding in time. Going back in time when he was good. All right, man. All right. We're doing it. Timer is on the screen. Burns, Godrup, Sungjae, Vic Perez, Hoagie, and T-Mont. All right. I'm going to give Hoagie the boot. That's already too much Hoagie tonight. It's like over 10%. That's insane. Why is Putnam not being selected as much? He's 100. Oh, he's 20 points, 30 points, 30 points ahead of Hoagie, and he's not getting any love. I imagine it has to do with the buckets. That's my guess. Burns got her up. Grillo, Schmid, Hisetsune, Taylor, Montgomery. I like it. Im and Hoagie has to go. Okay, so no Sungbae. No Sungbae Im. Burns got her up Grillo. Bridgman, what is up with Bridgman? Go away, man. I'd rather play so many other golfers. His points are so high, though. Holy crap. All right, this is the moment where my optimizer's probably right, and I'm probably wrong. Actually, both of those guys are Grillo and Bridgman. Okay, I'm saving it. I feel like it's gonna be a good lineup. Like it goes against what I like, but what I like doesn't hit nearly enough or to for me to go against the optimizer. All right, next lineup is Burns, got her up Knapp, McCarty, Eric Cole, and Taylor Montgomery. I like that lineup a lot. That's really good. It's really good. Go Skins. You can go all top guys. 3 top dudes with David Skins? I'm not doing David Skins. No way. Burns got her up. Michael Thorbjornsen, Taylor Moore, Matt McCarty, and Taylor Montgomery. There you go. That's a solid lineup. And you know what? Despite it having Taylor Montgomery on it, you get one of these. Pretty solid. And one for the road. Sam Stevens and Mac Hughes. That's also another good lineup. I like that lineup quite a bit. Cool. So those were John Bizzle's lineups. John, those were some good ones, man. You can do some damage, I think, with those lineups. Oh, yeah. Flex on them, man. Okay, so I think that's everybody. I will check to see if I'm missing anybody for lineup builds. Sherlock Harden, did you have any lineups that you wanted? You're playing Sappin at 6,100. He is a mini boy. You're right. He kind of sucks. Or he has sucked. I think that's it. Anybody in the chat, let me know. Did I miss anybody? You want Burns? You want Burns Hoagie? Okay. Yeah, I think that's everybody. I'm not seeing anybody else. Okay. Thomas Hoagie. All right. Timer is on the screen. Here we go. This is probably going to be the last lineup, and then I'm going to go into a members only video. So if you want to stick around, I will end this stream, start a new stream, and do the members only stream. And if you want to watch it, you got to be a white tier member and above. Hoagie, Stevens, Vince Whaley, Kevin Hugh, Grazerman, and Burns. That's a really good lineup. Pretty good. And then it doesn't move. I'm going to kick out Grazerman. Let me know if you want me to bring him back. Tell me if you want me to bring Grazerman back, and I will. Burns, Pendrith, Kitayama, Stevens, Hoagie, and Antoine Rosner. Okay, that's fine. I think Rosner will get the boot now because that's over 2 lineups built with him. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Let me do something really quick. So interesting. Oh, you get Max McGravy. So the same 5 dudes, but then McGravy. If the next 5 dudes happen the same, I will move on. Doesn't. Changes. Vic Perez. There you go, man. Burns, Pendrith, Knapp, Hughes, Perez, and Hoagie. That's not terrible. Let's take out Pendrith also. See what else we can get. Burns, Kitayama, Thorbjornsen, Whaley, Byung-Hun An, and Tom Hoagie. I don't hate it. I don't know if I like it that much either. Perez naturally Lego. All right, I like this lineup, but I want to get rid of Kurt Kitayama. That's what she said. I can't do skins. Yeah, nope. Can't play shirts and skins. Burns, Knapp, you, Whaley. Oh, there's Bridgman. Burns, McNeely, Whaley, there you go. There you go. This is the lineup. This is the way. 2 10s and 4 7s. Pretty good. All right. That was the last lineup for Mr. Charlotte Cardin. All right, everyone. I'm going to call this. Oh, Trey just got here. What's up, y'all? Smash the like button. Trey, if you give me 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around, I'll do it for you. But I'm about to go into members only. Here are the marquee tee times. $20 likes. We need 5 more, and I give out 5 free memberships. Homa, Clanton, and Knapp. Wow. He was quick. He was quick with it. Homa, Clanton, and Knapp. Okay. No Clanton tonight, except for this guy. Homa, Clanton, Knapp. Where the hell is he? Oh, I see him. 3 8K golfers? Well, that breaks the sweet spot rules. That's fine. We will make an exception. First lineup is Pendrith, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Whaley, and McCarty. Next lineup is Grazerman, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Hoey, Tom Kim. Clanton high in your pool. Cool. Burns, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Tom Kim, and Joe Highsmith. No. No. Tom Kim, you can go as well. Oh, thank you. Got to put a timer on the screen, but that's fine. I'm building you 5 lineups, and then we're getting out of here. Burns, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Kirk, and Patrick Rogers. Could do worse. Could do better. Patrick Rogers, give him the boot, and Chris Kirk. I'm also gonna give him the boot. Burns, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Cam Davis, and Seamus Power. That's fine-ish. Ah, man, that's... I don't mind Seamus Power, but you gotta worry about his back. He's got a bad back. Burns, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Cam. Okay, let's kick out Cam Davis. Since it's got to be Burns and no one else. Thorbjornsen and Steven Fisk. That's fine. Okay. Burns, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Olesen, Fisk. You know what? Here, let's do something different. Let's kick out Burns. Give you someone else other than Burns. A bit more balanced. Siwoo, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Rico Hoey, and Thorbjorn Olesen. Okay. And one last one. One last one for the road. Goddard, Knapp, Homa, Clanton, Olesen. All right, that's like, I don't mind Thorbjorn, but what? Ooh, Norgard, Moeller. Goddard. You got Moeller. Okay, that's fine. All right, man. Those were very interesting lineups at the end. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to go to members only. Give me like 5 minutes. I think I'm going to go get something to eat really quick. And then I'm going to jump on. Actually, 10:30. I'll jump on at 10:30. Members only. If you want to watch it, you got to be a white tier member on YouTube. But I am going to get off of this one. Again, I'm not streaming tomorrow night because I will be out of town. I won't have time. So we're going to build lineups tonight. We're going to do our deep dive tonight and go from there. So again, 10:30, I will jump on. Catch me there. But for now, thank you all for being here. Hopefully we built some good lineups for you guys or gave you ideas on what to do with with your lineups at home. But I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next.